Ovid me'avo, a person who serves God out of love, v'osi b'Torah u'b'mitzvos, he engages in Torah mitzvahs, v'holech b'nesivas ha'chochma, and he walks the pathways of wisdom. Lo me'idava ba'olam, he has no other reason, no ulterior motive. Lo me'iros hara, not because he's concerned, because of the consequences or ramifications of doing the wrong thing. Lo kadei lira shatova, it's not to inherit what's good. Elo osa emes b'lishu emes, he's engaging in truth because it's true. It's the truth. And ultimately, he knows that he's going to be a beneficiary of the ultimate, but that's not the impetus. That's not what's drawing to it. What's drawing to it is because if it's true, I want to be on the wagon with the true guys. Rambam writes that the person who serves God out of love, and he studies, and he actualizes the commandments, the mitzvahs, his obligations, and he walks the pathways of truth. Why? Because they're true. And he's doing the truth because he wants to do the truth. That's all he wants to be associated with, something that's true. Now, on Purim, which we're not too far off, there's a rabbinic commandment. We have to read the Megillah. It's called the Megillah of Esther. It's the story from the beginning till the end, how things began and how they concluded. Megillah Esther was written by Mordechai and Esther. Mordechai was the member of the High Assembly. Esther was his niece, and she was the queen of Persia. When the king of Persia, Ahasuerus, initially married, he didn't even know she was Jewish. Only later did he find out she was Jewish. Ahasuerus ruled the world supreme. At the last moment, although there was a decree that was issued by Haman, who was the descendant of Amalek, he was an Amaleki, that every man, woman, and child should be annihilated, and there shouldn't be one Jew spared on the face of the earth. The last moment, a miracle happened. Things were inverted. Not one Jew was killed, and the Jews were given permission by the king of Persia, the 13th of Adar, to go to battle and kill as many as we could in all 127 provinces of the world, or countries of the world. The people in Shushan, which was the capital city of the Persian Empire, they were given an additional day to kill the Amalekites, the enemies, who a day before they would have annihilated them, the 14th. So the 13th and the 14th, the people in Shushan, which was the capital city, were given permission by the emperor to kill the Amalekites. Okay? How do we celebrate to commemorate this day? As I said, we read the Megillah, which is the story of Esther from the beginning until the end. In addition, there's an obligation we must celebrate with feasting. We must feast. We're celebrating our existence. There would have been one solitary Jew left on the face of the earth, if not for this miracle. When we feast, we also must drink. Drink wine, preferably wine. To what degree do you drink wine? So the Talmud tells us, ad lo yoda, to the point of intoxication, ad lo yoda in or haman leborach Mordechai. Literally means a person drinks into a stupor that he can't tell the difference between Mordechai, which represents the ultimate good, and Haman, who represents the ultimate evil. What do we say? We say Baruch Mordechai. Blessed is Mordechai, because he's the tzaddik. He was special. Orur Haman, cursed is Haman, because he was the personification of evil. He should be cursed. So you have to drink to a point where you can't discern between Orur Haman and Baruch Mordechai. Meaning, literally means, it seems to be, you say cursed is Mordechai, and blessed is Haman. The man doesn't know which side of his mouth he's speaking out of. That's how drunk he is. First, it does not make any sense. It's a rabbinic law when you celebrate to such a state of intoxication that you don't know the difference between good and evil. Is that what it means? So some say there's a moral of Prague who interprets it. It means that, but it brings out a different point. Hanukkah, we celebrate the miracle of the defeat of the Greeks. The multitudes in the hands of the few, the mighty in the hands of the weak, the impure into the hands of the pure, the evil into the hands of the righteous. That's what we celebrate, the victory, besides the lighting of the Hanukkah lights. Now, how do we celebrate Hanukkah? Not by feasting, by saying Hallel. We sing the praises of God. He saved us. A handful of Jews, relatively speaking, defeated the mightiest Persian, Greek armies. The Beis Hamikdash was refurbished and purified. But why are we feasting? We should feast. Every holiday we feast. Why don't we feast on Hanukkah? So it's explained. The Maral explains in Prague, because the Greeks didn't want to destroy us as a physical people. It's only because we weren't willing to accept paganism, their type of paganism. That's why they wanted to destroy us. But if we would have embraced the paganism, they would have accepted us as equals. So what was at stake at the time of Hanukkah? Not our physicality. What was at stake was our spirituality. Our souls was at stake. Therefore, how do we commemorate and celebrate that? We say Hallel. We sing the praises of God, which relates to our spirituality. Purim. If a Jew would have been a heretic, if he would have been a pagan, he was on Haman's wanted list to be annihilated. It didn't make a difference what your belief was. If you were a Jew, you're from Jewish descent, you must be annihilated. So when we celebrate the miracle of Purim, we're celebrating our physical existence. Since we celebrate our physical existence, how do we express that? From indulging in the physical. Physical means total physical, as if we have no intelligence. To emphasize this point, even if a person would have been not operable mentally speaking, Haman would have destroyed him because you are of Jewish pedigree. So therefore you drink to such a level that you can't discern between the two, because it doesn't make a difference what your perspectives are, what your beliefs are. If you're a Jew, you have to be annihilated. That's the way it's explained. Some explain it. The way I explain it this way. When a person says, cursed is evil, why should evil be cursed? What's wrong with evil? Okay, I'm going to say it over because I see Bob's a little confounded on this one. Okay, say it over. We're supposed to say, cursed is Mordechai. It says, you're supposed to drink to a point where you don't discern between blessed is Mordechai and cursed is Haman. So the way I'm explaining it is this way. It doesn't mean to say, God forbid, you say cursed is Mordechai and blessed is Haman, the evil. No, you're not confusing the two. You're not drinking yourself to such a stupor. But rather, when a person sometimes meditates and you're not distracted, you come upon certain realizations. So when you drink, you go into a certain sedate state that your mind automatically, you're able to take a back seat, and then observe and be an appropriate observer. And you think to yourself, why should evil be cursed? We have to ask that question. You know why? Evil should be cursed because it's contradictory to good. And good should be blessed because good is contradictory to evil. So it's only because the alternative far surpasses what the other is, and the other is an antithesis of one in the negative, therefore you stay away from that other one. So in essence, if you appreciate what it means, blessed is Mordechai, in essence, what are you saying? Anything which is not that should be cursed. Anything which is contrary to that should be cursed. And we say cursed is Haman, because he's evil. You're saying it's cursed because anything that has that level of representation should be cursed. But anything which is the antithesis of that, the positive, that should be blessed. First, truth for truth. He serves God out of love, studies the Torah, does the mitzvos, and he walks the pathway of truth only because it's truthful. So that's what I brought this thing with Purim. So why is he walking the pathway of truth? Because there are other pathways, which are pathways of falsehood. And therefore, if it's the two of them, I walk the pathway of truth. So it's truth for truth. Because I don't want to be associated with anything which is not truth, which is falsehood.